Okay, I just wanted to highlight just a few of the tools that we have available for you to use on our website that you may not yet be aware of. So we have this as our shortcut, hgca.com/tools. You can also access these on the website through the tools link, and it will bring up this menu here which shows you a variety of resources. So there's encyclopedias there for reference, there are some calculators there, and there's some sort of disease forecasting tools. So I'm just going to go through a few of these, but please do take a bit of time to have a look at these. So we can see here I've just highlighted, I'm just on the oilseed rape disease forecasting part of the website. And if I just click onto the light leaf spot forecast. So this is work we've been doing for a number of years with Rothamsted Research. This information actually sits on the Rothamsted page, and you can access it either directly from HGCA or also from Rothamsted. And you can see that it provides a lot of very useful information. We've got information here on the pathogen life cycle, the actual visual symptoms, so recognising the disease, the development, the forecast development within the season, information regionally, and also historical information. And this forecast is really based on weather data and disease levels that come from the previous season, from pod infection. And we also get a lot of disease information that feeds into this from the DEFRA annual disease survey, which incorporates information from 100 commercial crops. And this just shows you some of the information that you can see. So you can see here how the forecast changes from the start of the season compared with the end of the season. We've currently got some ongoing work here that is going to hopefully develop this and enhance this forecast going forwards, and we're aiming to get some information that will give us a date of the epidemic onset, and that piece of work will come to an end in autumn 2006, and hopefully at that point we'll be able to enhance this lightly spot forecast even further. Another one of our oilseed rape forecasts is the Phoma forecast. So this will be a familiar life cycle to you. So obviously we've got the ascospores that infect the seedlings. They can then grow, disease develops down the stem. You get your cankers, you get your stem lodging, and then you can get disease progressing to the seed, and then obviously on the crop debris to reinfect and complete the cycle. Now we know there's some very key points in this life cycle, particularly when we come to think about sort of modelling and forecasting. And accumulated temperature is very important in the forecast. But actually what we've learned, the really important bit in this is actually the rainfall and temperature between July and September. And the critical bit of this forecast is really it enables us to determine when the 10% of the plants will be infected with the leaf spots, which is obviously very important in helping you to advise on your fungicide sprays. But it also provides information on the date of stem canker development and also the severity of the cankers at harvest as well. And again, this just shows you the output of some of that information. So you get these sort of regional pictures here, where you can get information on that 10% Phoma leaf spotting. And each of these blobs here, these are all weather stations. And the ones with the black dots in them, these are the HGCA weather stations. We have our own network of weather stations as well now to add to this. And you get colour codings. The blue points are when you have 10% of the leaf spotting is predicted more than 7 days away. The yellow points is when 10% of the leaf spotting is predicted within the next 7 days. And when they've turned red, that's when you've sort of passed the 10% area. Okay, some of the other work that we're involved in at the moment, and this kind of goes back to what Simon was talking about earlier. We know that disease populations do change rapidly over time, and varietal resistance can be overcome, and that's something we have to live with. So actually, the importance of monitoring throughout the season is becoming more and more critical to our good agronomy practice. So in 2014, we set up a new network of monitoring sites. We started to monitor some of the trials in the untreated RL sites. And we looked at these with varieties that have a different kind of disease ratings as well. So we're not just looking at susceptible, we're looking at a range there. But we also get some additional information that feeds into this that comes from commercial treated crops, which is supplied by local agronomists. So this is something that you may be able to participate in the future as we sort of extend this work. So this is fairly new at the moment. It's only been going a year. And this is some of the information, some of the outputs that you can see on the website. So we get a real-time forecast prediction here of disease development by different regions, and you can select your different regions and the different dates there. And this is really important resource both for sort of research purposes. It will sort of help feed into new forecasting and development tools and also help validate and enhance existing forecasting tools. But it can also highlight where we might have something that's of a little bit of concern happening in some of these areas where, as Simon said, we might want to collect some samples and maybe send them off to the serial pathogen virulence testing for further investigation. So look out on this page. It's only been going a year, and it's definitely going to sort of develop further going forwards. Some of the work that we do on cereals, obviously sort of forecasting of sort of fusarium risk and associated mycotoxins is very important for the industry. There's a new piece of work that we started this year with ADAS, and this was really to try and get a better handle on actually the sort of forecast of this fusarium risk, and we produced some weekly reports that were based on rainfall during flowering. And you can see that we get these nice little charts that we developed that have the flowering time against rainfall data, and we can categorize these into a high risk, a moderate risk, and a low risk, and this is set against the percentage area flowering in different regional areas. So again, this is something that we will continue to develop going forwards, and it has provided quite valuable. And this is really all about the sort of the forecast of the fusarium risk, and this works in tandem with a piece of work we've been doing for a number of years now, since 2006, which was actually on the risk of mycotoxin assessments. Now this is an important piece of work because this is actually incorporated into the grain passport. So as I said, we started this work in 2006. Ongoing research has then led us to understand that there was some really key impacts around rainfall at flowering and pre-harvest, which meant we had to re-look and we assessed and further developed the risk in 2008. And we produce often annual or biannual updates. This was produced in this summer on the latest information we got on the fusarium mycotoxin risks. And it goes hand in hand with various sort of tools. We've got paper copies. This is an example of the electronic copy where growers are required to complete this online. And they can put their various information in there. Now, the important thing to emphasise is this is all about the risk of mycotoxins. It's not about giving you an absolute value of the mycotoxins you're going to get at the end of the season, and that's a really important decision. This is a risk assessment tool. But we know from experience that growers sometimes struggle to complete the information, and this is where you can really help them. They're particularly weak at inputting the rainfall at flowering and pre-harvest. And you have to input that data to actually get a variety of different scores. So this is something they should start throughout the season and continually update this, so then at the end of the season they can submit their scores on their grain passport. So I'm sure you'll be able to help them. And you can see there we've developed over the years a bit of a risk map as well for different areas of the country where you get a higher risk and lower risk of mycotoxins. Another new piece of work that we've started in the last couple of years, and this is really sort of developing our own network of weather stations. So we currently have 33 weather stations. These are based on RL sites. This network is currently managed by Agri, and we produce weekly summaries of weather data. The aim of doing this piece of work really was to try and help us better understand and better interpret the sort of pest and disease data that's happening in regions, actually a bit more down to a field level. So it's been a very useful piece of information that we can look at alongside the data that's coming out of the RL trial plot. So you can get microclimates of weather, and this helps us understand better what's happening at that field level. So again, it's a very valuable tool for future research. And actually, if you're interested in knowing a bit more what's happening in your region or why things might be happening or you can't quite understand, then we can drill down into this more, and more data is available on this on request if you have a particular interest. Some of the things around this area of sort of monitoring and forecasting going forward, where we've got some new research. So we're currently working with Scotland's Rural College to develop a UK-wide ramularia forecast. So we've been working with our colleagues in Scotland for a number of years, and they've developed a ramularia forecast in Scotland, and we're now wanting to expand this and develop this further. We're also currently working on a lateral flow test to help detect club root in soil. Club root's obviously a big increasing problem we're seeing now with increasing rotations of oilseed rape, that it's actually having a really big impact now. So we're trying to be able to relate the infection in the soil to actually infection levels and yield loss in plants. So that's hopefully in the next couple of years that will develop a useful tool that you'll be able to use. HGCA has just agreed some funding, and we're just in the process of waiting to get some additional funding approved from the UK Research Councils to look at soil-borne Rhizoctonia and oilseed rape. So again, we think this is having a bigger impact than we've maybe really understood. So we want to look more about the understanding of the impact of this disease and also about the control of this going forwards. We've also got a huge amount of work at the moment going on around soil, and we've got lots of work looking at soil management zones and yield maps, and again these will be tools that will be available to help you with your agronomy practices. So that's some of the forecasting and monitoring. I just want to now just highlight quickly just a few of the sort of more calculated tools that are available on the website. So we have our green area index tool. So this is the green area is the ratio of green leaf area to the area of ground on which the crop is growing, and this is quite helpful in your oilseed rape canopy management. And there's a range of sort of 6 different sort of visual pictures which are linked to a green area index score. We've got the grain moisture calculator. So this will calculate the weight loss associated with growing 1 tonne of grain. So again, you can input your initial moisture and your final moisture, and it will calculate the weight lost in that tonne of grain. We've got the seed rate calculator. Again, you can use this to help calculate the kilograms per hectare of seed required based on your planned seed rate per metre squared and 1,000 grain weights. And again, you can just input your various number of seeds and 1,000 grain weight, and it gives you a conversion rate there for your kilograms per hectare. We've got the yield calculator. So this is a good tool to help you quickly and easily convert your tonnes per acre and tonnes per hectare and vice versa. So just a nice simple one there for you. Nice quick reference. We've also got the fertiliser calculator, and this one really helps you to convert the quality of your sort of elemental fertiliser into the oxides and vice versa. So again, you can select the quantities, you can select the element, and it will give you a conversion ratio there. And finally, we've got another nice, quick and simple spray volume calculator, which will convert gallons per acres and litres per hectare. And again, you can just input that. And if you just want a quick answer off the top of your head, then that's available. So that was it. That's all I just wanted to highlight, just a few of those tools that are available that I'm sure you'll find useful. And we have a programme of ongoing research that is always continuing to kind of further enhance this and develop this. And I'm sure the forecasting and modelling side of things will only become more important going forward as we have to use all the tools we've got in the box to combat all the problems we have. Thank you.